To do a little quick update on the 8 passengers fiasco. That's the best word I have for it. It's just absolutely an abusive nightmare to the poor children that had to endure it. And it's definitely not a happy thing ongoing because we really don't know what happened with the children. I mean, we know that they rescued them, but we don't know how they're doing, where they're at. Because, of course, in these kind of cases involving children, they don't tell you anything. For the children's safety, most likely. So, for those of you that are not following the 8 passengers fiasco situation, there was a lady named Ruby Frankie, and she had a family vlog channel known as 8 Passengers on, I believe it was on YouTube. I think it might have been on Instagram and some other places, maybe Twitter, whatever, social media in general. And Ruby Frankie was not parent of the year, to put it bluntly. Nobody I would want for a parent, to put it definitely. She was very, very harsh with her children, very cold and uncaring. I just got done listening to something that she posted. Hey, Patty White, about if her children were on fire and she rolled them in a carpet and they'd be screaming because they were in pain from the flames, that she would tell them to lay still because she had to beat the fire out. And that, yes, her children would scream because she was hitting them trying to put the fire out, but she would still tell them hold still because she was going after like the greater good by trying to put the fire out. So she's gonna roll her kids in a carpet, tell them to lay still while she beats the you know what out of them, trying to put flames out. Um, okay. One of her many weird, odd things that she has said that indicate she is just absolutely not fit to be a parent at all or to be around kids at all. Okay, so at this point, what ended up happening was there were many different videos that were posted on this mom vlog, if you will, or family vlog, where she was showcasing everything about her kids, like even their private matters, their underwear, what size bras the girls wore, and just some weird things that she said. And then there was like a couple incidences that really irritated the tar out of me. One of which she apparently one of her children chopped up something of hers, some kind of item or whatever, and she threatened to chop the head off the doll or off of the stuffed animal of the little girl who was crying unconsolably till her sister jumped in and comforted her. And another incident in which her, I guess, teenage boy, maybe he wasn't a teenager, I'm not sure how old he was made to sleep on a beanbag chair for like months and had his bedroom taken away from him. She also said that eating is a privilege. So if you get to eat, consider yourself privileged. So she withdrew food from her kids as a punishment, like on a regular basis. When her youngest son, I believe it was, escaped, she had hooked up with this guru, if you will, for lack of a better term, supposedly a therapist. I guess she was a mental health therapist or some kind of therapist at one point and then lost her license. They are all connected to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, the Mormons. And this lady that was the supposed therapist was like the highest echelon in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. She was very highly recommended to many, many people apparently in the church. So they would go to her, and many of them came back and have testified that her main objective in her counseling sessions was to divide husbands and wives and to convince the wives that their husband had a. Anyways, the fact was that these guys a lot of times were not viewing this kind of thing, or they had confided this in Jody Hildebrand. She was the therapist person, probably privately, because you guys know HIPAA law. You're not supposed to tell anything as a therapist to other people that people come and share confidentially. Well, she made a habit of shaming men for sharing these things and convincing their wives to leave them because they had this problem that they shared with her, or even in open sessions. I don't know exactly how they shared it, but she would convince the wives to leave them, divorce them, or at least separate from them because they were a danger to the family or a danger to the children. And by leaving them, there was more of a chance of reconciling the marriage. She ruined a lot of marriages, apparently. People are now starting to come out and talk about their time with her as their therapist. Apparently, when she was doing therapy this time around, she was doing it under the table, so to speak, or maybe somewhat illegally, because she had already had her license revoked. So now I think she was under the guise of kind of like a life coach, most likely. I don't know all the details. Y'all know I'm not that much of a diehard true crime fan where I'm going to show you all kinds of pictures and videos and whatever. I ain't got time for all that. I'm a busy, busy person. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so at this point, what happened was the youngest son was somehow taken, I guess, with one or two of his other siblings to this Jody's house, this therapist lady who was practicing, I believe, illegally. He was taken to the house and he somehow escaped and went to a neighbor's house. His hands, I think, and his ankles had wounds on them from being taped for like a lengthy period of time, apparently. He was starving. They investigated the situation. At some point, the police went and broke down the door of the house, not that house, a different house. They did come and take the child to the hospital. I think there were a couple kids they took to the hospital, the boy and the girl, I believe, the two youngest kids. But they broke down the door of the house, and I don't remember if they said anybody was there or not. But the father of the children apparently tried to allege that his own daughter, who had left the family a long time ago, thanks, Wheezy, um, had broken in. He alleged that she broke down the door, apparently, and was taking things from the house, and that she was no longer allowed in the home. She had already left the home like a long time ago, and she had already started gradually speaking out about some of the things that weren't right in the home. So this father, sperm donor, as far as I'm concerned, no father acts like that, no mother acts like that towards kids. Some of these videos I've seen with these crazy people. Anyway, he accused Sherry, the oldest daughter, of apparently breaking in and getting some items, some electronic items or something from the home. So apparently, hi Gladys, the police had gotten in there to investigate, and I think they escorted like CPS there to help get some of the younger children's items out of the home, is what happened. But the father's accusing Sherry, the oldest daughter, of doing things, and I think they informed him absolutely not. It was not Sherry. We broke down your door, the police were saying. So, no, it was not Sherry. Anyway, people are appalled that a father would accuse his own daughter of doing something like that, especially when he had said, like, very earlier, very much earlier than when this incident happened, that all he wanted was his children back together, and he was concerned about the welfare of the children, and he wanted to, pretty much be the dad that he was supposed to be, or that he claimed to be, or whatever. So people are like, well, if that's the case, why would you accuse your own daughter of burglarizing your house? Now, okay, I am not in favor of this guy having the children. I'm not in favor of anybody in that crazy family having these kids. I think they're all a bunch of nutcases, personally. From what I've seen on the interviews, Ruby's sisters are a little bit daffy too. So I'm not sure I would even want the kids with them. But the fact is, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought again. Darn it. The fact is, these kids were clearly being abused, neglected, punished in absolutely ridiculous ways. And then they ended up with this Jody Hildebrand in her house, and the little boy escaped. The boy, I guess, told the people that rescued him that they were often taped down to the floor, tied down to the floor, chained to the floor, um, probably to purge the demons out of them or something. They did interview Jody Hildebrand, the therapist lady's niece who, like 13, 14 years ago, was treated the same way or in similar ways. She was made to kneel on her hands and knees with a list of sins that she was forced to confess to this Jody, her aunt, and repent of them and act super sorry about them or else. And she was given a lot of harsh punishments as well. I don't think we've even heard all of what happened to this niece at all. I think she only barely brushed the surface of what she went through. But she was basically saying, hey, we've known about my aunt doing this stuff for like 13 years, and nobody has done a thing about it. Why? Because it's attached to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And let's face it, if you've done any studying on cults and dangerous church organizations and spiritual organizations, then you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of hidden secrets, especially in the upper echelons. They don't want anybody to know about this stuff. So yes, of course, it was hush hush. The way they raised their families with such an iron fist is just brushed under the rug. People don't talk about it. And if you dare to speak out about it, you are in danger. Literally, especially if you're part of that church. So I'm not saying every single Mormon church or Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is this way. But there are fringe groups and there are certain places that are. And in this case, clearly a lot of stuff is being hidden in this case. This is a kind of true crime I definitely will report on because I think it's absolutely deplorable that people get away with this stuff and that more stuff is not being done about it. There's something else I want to talk to you about too as far as cultic activity. That's more like my true crime stuff that I would talk about is abusive religious organizations. Not where people are being killed necessarily, because I don't like talking about that stuff. But where people are being harmed and they're rescued, for sure. I'm all about talking about that. Anyway, at this point, Jody and Ruby, the mother, egg donor of the 5, 6 kids, or however many were misfortunate enough to call her mom, both of them have been arrested for the abuses that they inflicted on these kids. I believe there were like 6 counts given to each of them, against each of them, for abuse of these kids. What's happening at this point, I have no idea other than the so-called father, sperm donor person trying to get back the kids and saying he's a good father and he wants to bring them back and give them a normal life and a balanced life. That's what I was going to say to you. So one of the channels I was watching that reported on this also was saying, well, how can Kevin say that he wants to do this and then the next day accuse his daughter of breaking in and burglarizing the house? Okay, I'm gonna they call it playing devil's advocate, but not really. I hate that term. The reason he might say that, in my opinion, because I don't like the guy personally, and I don't think he should have the kids, is because he's probably narcissistic. He doesn't like the fact that the kids are elsewhere and probably going to be raised elsewhere, and he doesn't have the control over those children anymore. And if he is from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this fringe group that apparently is brushing a bunch of abuses under the rug and hiding things for years, then he doesn't want anybody else to control those kids. He believes that it's his job as the father to raise those kids in Mormonism and to teach them and brainwash them in whatever his theology or his distorted beliefs are. And how dare anybody rescue these kids and give them a life, because he can give them the best life steeped in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint theology. That's what I think. I think it's a narcissistic move on his part. I don't think he's fit to take care of the kids. Now, I don't know the guy personally. I'm just giving an opinion here. He was in on all the garbage. He was sitting right there while his wife was doing this kind of junk to these kids. Now they say, well, they split up at some point, so he wasn't aware. I sat and watched him at the dinner table while they were making fun of and mocking their child. I didn't hear him say, hey, that's not nice, stop now. No, he sat there and he was laughing too. So how is he not part of it? He is part of it. Trust me, he's part of it. Okay, so right now we don't know what else is going on with this crazy family, other than this Jody Hildebrand therapist lady has ruined so many lives, and they're all starting to come out now, or many of them are, and saying, hey, yeah, this is what went on when we were in this therapy session with her. She clearly divided the men from the women, clearly tried to separate marriages and get women to abandon, their marriages and ditch their husbands and stuff. We do know that much, but nothing more has been said about that. Now let's talk about another cult, and then I'll share a little bit more on my personal life, because I always talk about myself and I feel like I sound narcissistic, like all that matters is me and what's happening with Dee Dee. And that's not me at all. That's not my heart. But I will talk about a little bit about my life in a little while. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is a cult called Love Has Won. Now, I don't know that the cult is still in operation, but it was run by a lady named Amy Carlson. And Amy Carlson started out as a mother of several children. I think she had 3 children. And somehow she got hooked up with some crazy dude that thought he was the Messiah and brainwashed her into believing she was Mother God, Mother Gaius, and all this other stuff. So she started a cult. She had a little group of followers, just a few, and then, of course, a few more joined. There wasn't that many of them that I could tell. There was like a little house that they stayed in, and there was maybe, I think I counted 6 or 7 followers. Maybe she had more. I know she did a lot of videos on the internet. What she basically did was brainwashed people and used a lot of chemical substances in the form of drinking and intaking in different forms, which distorted people's ability to reason. Obviously, she used sleep deprivation for people, so that they could have a better pure energy force or some kind of baloney like that. So she would like wake people up throughout the night, not let them sleep at night. She said, oh, well, they take naps during the day. How long are their naps? Like the one guy said he got like 1 hour of sleep and they were waking him up and they're like, are you getting up? And he's like, yeah, I'm getting up. And he's like, when? You're going to just sleep all day? What is your plan, And the guy's like, no, I'll get up. He's like, when are you going to do that? And he was just like interrogating the guy to get him up out of the bed. And the guy was clearly exhausted. One thing about sleep deprivation is it really ruins your ability to see things objectively. So you're going to go along with a lot of the craziness that's going on around you when you can't reason and you can't argue and you don't have the strength to stand up for yourself. Sleep is a necessity, y'all. You should not stay up all hours of the night watching or listening to whatever you're doing with the blue light on your phone or whatever. Anyhow, it can distort your thinking. It can make you feel really irritable, and make you go along with things that you otherwise would not. It's very easy to brainwash somebody when they are sleep and food deprived. Pretty sure this lady, Amy Carlson, used that as well. Food deprivation. She, in one scene that I saw, she locked a little child in a dark closet repeatedly, called it a timeout for the child. While this kid was kicking and screaming and trying to grab at her face in terror, this lady has the guy pick the kid up and put him right back in the dark closet, like 3 times that I counted, probably more than that. And that kid was terrified. Can you imagine the PTSD of that poor kid? Hey, Vigilum. Absolutely deplorable. Anyway, so these followers, like I said, I don't think she had very many, like, in person, but the ones that she did have were very loyal to her. There were 2 young girls. I don't know, they could have been in their 20s, maybe 30s or whatever. Oh my gosh, the sun rose and set on Mother Earth, Mother God, whatever, Amy Carlson. But like I said, she started out a normal lady, then she got involved in illicit substances and got involved with this guy that thought he was God. And then he died, which left her Mother God, which meant she had to take over the group. So somehow, some way, she was very delusional, mentally ill to the max. She convinced these loyal followers to buy her tons of stuff, to spend tons of money on her, to somehow garner wages or whatever from other people outside of this group. And this lady was taking like trips on like thousands of dollars of trips all over the place. Eventually, I think they moved to like Honolulu or something in Hawaii, and then they kicked them out. And I think they ended up in Colorado. I could be totally wrong. I don't know the whereabouts of everybody, but yeah, they were in this one little house. So, anyway, she also tortured a cat, like right on camera, picked the cat up by its neck, and was hanging it and screaming at it and spitting on it right on camera. Okay, this is why I have a disclaimer: no children. You know, this is a child-proofed video specifically. This horrified me, and I'm not a child, but any kind of abuse horrifies me, even if it's fake on a movie. I can't watch it. I can't stand it. I hate the thought of anybody harming anything or even simulating harm to anything. But this cat, thankfully, I found out yesterday, was rescued. His name was Buddy, and he took the brunt of much abuse at this idiot's hands. Thankfully, they rescued the cat, and the cat is doing well. It went to a shelter and got care, but the horrendous things this poor animal, and I guess other animals, went through in this awful cult. I mean, when you're strung out on illicit substances and there's a bunch of animals wandering around, who knows what you're going to do to them? I really, really pray that in the future, and I'll probably never see this in my lifetime, that they are quicker at infiltrating these kind of groups and making them stop. The problem is it's a freedom of religion thing, and it's very hard to prove anything because people like that are very good at covering up their tracks and very good at training their followers to say the right things. Dr. Phil actually interviewed this lady and her little Goonies. Anyhow, what ended up happening was eventually a lot of the people got arrested that were part of this group for child abuse, for animal abuse, and other people got arrested for cruelty. What I don't understand is why did she not get arrested? Even her family was like, she needs to be arrested. She needs to do time for this evil stuff she's doing with these people and children and animals. She never got arrested. She ended up dying, I guess they said from anorexia and illicit substance abuse, possibly. They found her body, get this, mummified in her bed, in her bedroom, with her followers worshiping her mummified body. It was mummified, and they had painted her eyelids like blue or something and put glitter on them, and the weirdest thing I ever heard of. But she did die, and they found her followers worshiping her dead body in her bed for however long. The police or whoever investigated it leaned over and they're like, oh man, that's been there for a while. Weird, huh? Real weird. So I guess they broke up that cult. I don't know if it restarted again under somebody else. I sure as heck hope not. But that was one of the craziest cult things I've ever heard. Anyway, somebody had mentioned the other day, I had said something regarding my vocation and what I'm doing now. Somebody said, oh, you're a teacher assistant, and I said, close enough. I'm a sub. Yep. And it is taking every bit of my energy to do the job. You came in at a weird moment. No, you didn't. It's okay. I'm done talking about that stuff anyway. I'm exhausted all the time. I'm very, very tired, and that's why you don't see me much anymore. I am just constantly, let's just say I'm in service all the time at my job. I constantly have to help out on my job. It's not a bad job. I mean, it pays well, which is what a lot of people wonder about. Oh, well, does it pay good? Yes, it does, but like I told you, if I don't love a job, then it's hard for me. But I really do love what I do. It's just very tiring. It's exhausting. It takes every bit of everything I am. And it also uses the best of what I am, which is a good thing. But yeah, y'all, my degrees are not in this. My degrees are in psychology. Not that I don't use some of it on the job, but for the most part, I was trained to be a coach, counselor, whatever you want to call it. And I have not been able to operate in that field yet. Maybe someday, I don't know. But for anybody watching this that's like, oh my gosh, that's not good because, you know, What kind of supervision do you have? Trust me, I have plenty. I'm not on my own ever. There's teachers all around me, there's people all around me. We all watch out for each other, and it's a good it's a good team. It's a good team. It's just very tiring for all of us, honestly. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. Other than that, the weather's been pretty odd around here. We had super hot days. Then we had a icy, not icy, but super cold, almost icy day. And now today we're back to starting out super cold to getting warmer and then going back to cold. Very strange Illinois weather for sure. Definitely. I have still been working out. I'm not working out every day like I thought I was going to, because in between I just have times when I'm like, I'm spent. I don't have any ounce of energy to even give to working out right now. So yesterday I worked out. Today I took a break. Today was my husband's and my 107-month anniversary. So we ordered some subs. Well, not ordered. I went to the sub place and got them at Subway. I had a nice big 12-inch veggie sub, and he had whatever meat lover, uh, what was it called? Italian BMT, I guess, something like that. It was delicious. It was a nice night for us, or a nice afternoon, and we watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding Part 3. It was an okay movie. It was kind of funny. Oh, Gladys, you're so silly. So yeah, it was a good day. I'm just getting tired. It's getting late again, and it'll be time to do the whole thing over again tomorrow. So yeah, that's about all I got, y'all. What's going on with you? Oh yes, and I'm praying for the peace in Israel and for protection over Yahweh's people over there. It's bad situation, y'all. But like I said the other day, I think I said it on Facebook. It reminds me of kids fighting over a bedroom. The sacred bedroom, the place where everybody wants to go to just chill and be at peace. They're fighting over it instead of saying, hey, how about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can have it, and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'll have it. Nope, they got to have complete possession, ownership of it, or else they're out for, harming people to the point of taking them off the face of the earth, if you know what I mean. Silly, stupid, ridiculous, whatever. And another silly, stupid, ridiculous thing. I was coming home today and I was sitting, oh, okay, your house sitting, cool. And I was sitting in my car and I was like ready to turn this way, like go across the street and into a parking lot. And there is another lady coming from this way, and there's a lady coming over here in front of me. So I was at a gas station. I'm sitting there flagging her on, going, go ahead. She sits there. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go. So I start going, and then she decides to go. She almost sideswiped my car. It's like, why do you do that? I told you to go first. Why didn't you just go? Nope, they wait till you go, and then bam. That's how accidents happen, y'all. Definitely. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? What's new? What's happening? Do you want to talk about anything? You want to ask me anything? I don't care. I'm not going to be here much longer because I'm super tired already. Talking online makes me sleepy. Staring at the screen makes me sleepy. It's those EMT, whatever, or EFT emissions or something, and the blue light makes me very tired quickly. Plus, talking makes me tired because you're kind of hyperventilating. Excuse me. Honey, where do we watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Flixier, right? Flixier is what it's called. It's like a little app you can watch stuff. I don't know exactly what it is. He watches stuff on there, though. And he wanted to watch a movie together, so. Anyway, another thing I've been into, I guess, is EFT. I don't know if you guys know what it is. I don't know what it exactly means. Where you go, you tap, 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 tap. Yeah. And a favorite actor? I used to love Robin Williams, rest his soul. Um, but then he starred in some things I didn't really exactly enjoy. So, but he was funny. Anyway, actually, Jennifer Lopez is a pretty good actress. I do like her in acting. Don't like her style of singing. Don't like the way she moves in her songs at all. Find it highly offensive and inappropriate. But I do like her acting skills for sure. Trying to think, there was somebody else I was going to say I liked. A lot of actors or singers that do acting I enjoy. And I'm like, yeah, do that. Don't sing. Just do that. Yeah. I do have a new radio station I really like. It's called Air One. You can get it online. I'm pretty sure you can like download it. But they have some really good churchy Christian type songs that have awesome messages. There was one about I pray Jesus over you because it's the best thing I can do or whatever. And I was thinking of my ex-husband's wife losing her mom. I was thinking of sending that to her. Um, yeah, it was very, very touching, and they just have really good songs on there. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I like it a lot, though. Anyway, that is about it, y'all. I got nothing else to say. If you want to keep me talking, I'll stay on a little bit longer, but I'm pretty much talked out. I don't know what else to tell you. Exercising's going good. Weight loss is whatever. Still stuck in the 180s as usual. Tom Hanks is good too, yeah. That's true. Adam Sandler's pretty good in some things. He's not my very favorite, but he's not bad. Oh, Denzel Washington. Eh. Ever since I saw him in Man of Fire, I haven't liked him. That movie was horrible. I mean, horrible in the sense of I don't like violence and I don't like that kind of action stuff. Like I said, I don't like when people harm each other, and he harmed somebody very badly in that movie. Of course, they were harming people too. I don't know what that means. Does anybody know if those letters are appropriate or not? I don't know what that acronym means. Do tell if you know, because I may have to hide the comment or something. Oh, I don't know if that's appropriate either. I'm not sure. If you're talking about like a horror type movie, then absolutely not. I would never watch anything like that. But if not, then I don't really know what it is. Does anybody know what that means? That thing they posted? Okay, I don't know. Well, anyway. I got two nice little goodies here from work today. Here's a nice big yellow squash, and check out this zucchini. Look how big it is. It's like a big long zucchini. I probably make zucchini bread out of that one. There's a lot of good eats there. I probably will just go and start getting ready to pack my lunch for tomorrow and figure out what I'm eating for breakfast tomorrow. I think that's what I'll do. And maybe read some books or something. I wish I had more energy at night, y'all. I just don't. I'm just so tired. My days are so long and there's so much involved in them that when I come home, I'm just tired. maybe on a weekend when I'm wide awake, I could come on, you know, at least a couple hours and chat with y'all if you want to chat about something. I don't have a problem doing that. You know, in the comments, if you will, down below before you leave here, could you just maybe type in a comment topic that you want to talk about? And I'll try to get on Saturday or Sunday and talk to you about it, whatever it is. Okay, anyway. Tough crowd as usual. It is what it is, I guess. All right, you guys have a great night. I'm going to get going. Probably start getting ready for bed. My eyes are starting to shut. So super tired. I do need to go and read my psalm and send Amber a video message about it when I'm done. So, okay, if you want to follow those true crime things I told you about, one is called 8 Passengers. All you got to do is type that in and you'll see the whole case come up. The other one was called Love Has Won, that other cult I told you about. So, and don't forget the 12 tribes. That's still another cult that's still very much in operation, and there have been many people leaving that cult and getting help and getting free, and then helping other people get free. So it's just an ongoing thing, and cults will always be with us, of course, but if more people expose them and speak out about them and against them, maybe they'll start getting closed down and investigated more. So it's kind of hard because you have, like I said, freedom of religion, and if people can try to prove their case, then they won't get shut down. Thank you. This shirt, I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't remember where I got it. I think I bought it somewhere. But, yep, I have a lot of nice shirts now that I wear, but I definitely need to go shopping for some more eventually, especially once the winter hits and stuff. Okay, well, if you ever want to get a hold of me personally, delusiondispeller@gmail.com will be how you would do that. DELUSIONDISPELLER@gmail.com. You will find me. I will write back to you. We could even do some Marco Polo video chat back and forth if you want. People always say, oh, thanks, I will, and then I never hear from them. So I hope if you will, that you do. You know, if you will talk to me, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Be blessed. Shalom.